The Mazda CX-30 is a nice vehicle, and for 2024 the starting price is approximately $25,000, which is reasonable enough, but I put in an order for one. I think it cost a bit more. Let's take a look at the price. Well, here we go. The deluxe 2.5 turbo engine with all-wheel drive, premium plus package. I'm told this particular model has no options, standard with everything. And indeed, it's loaded up. I'll scroll down real quick and freeze frame it if you want to see something particular. Whoa. But you know they're going to add an option or two. They always do. Let's see, they're charging us extra for the red paint and extra for the rear bumper guard. You gotta be kidding me. Out of all this money, $136 for the rear bumper guard and $595 for the paint job. Why would you charge for a bumper guard on a price this high? Well, I don't know. And there's the total tab. And one of the reasons Mazdas were so popular for many years is because they were one of the rare Japanese vehicles actually made in Japan. That's kind of changing nowadays. As we can see, Mexico. But at least the engine and transmission is fully assembled in Japan and shipped over here, so can't complain about that. So here it is in person, so to speak. Most of these Mazda SUVs all look alike, but it is a pretty decent looking design, so why complain? And the side view, and of course it does look a lot better with this fancy red paint, although it should, since we're paying an extra $595 for it. It appears to be a new gimmick automakers are doing now, charging extra for paint. The past dozen cars I've had, 10 of them in a row, charging extra for paint. But at least it's cheaper than the one I had for the Mercedes, charging worth $3,500 for a paint job. Wow. And the other Mercedes after that was like $1,750 for the paint job. So I guess for the $595 we're getting off easy here. First thing we do when we get a vehicle is check and see what brand of tires they're giving us, because a lot of manufacturers are giving us cheap off-brand rubber to save money. Here we got Bridgestones. They're a pretty good brand. Next thing we want to do is check and see if there's a spare tire. We do get a compact spare, which is better than nothing. Beats walking if you get a flat. Keep in mind though, this is the deluxe model with everything. I don't know if the less expensive versions of this SUV have a spare. You might want to check before you buy. And third thing we do is take the headlights out in the dark and see how they perform and do a night drive. We did a video on that already. We'll have a link for that at the end of this video so you don't miss anything. The CX-30 is based on the Mazda 3 car platform, for those interested in such facts. I did have one gripe right off the bat. When this car was delivered, it came directly from the gas station with a full tank. And the computer showed only a range of 230 miles, and I figured, what's going on with that? And I looked up in the manual, and the gas tank is just around 12 gallons. Come on, guys, can we get a bigger tank than that? Maybe put a larger tank under the rear seat or something, but unfortunately, the range is not very far on this. Oh well. There are two engines available with this vehicle. The base is a 2.5, 191 horsepower. Rate 26 mpg in the city, 33 on the highway, with the average of 29 overall. This is the upgraded Sky Active G Turbo. 227 horsepower using low-grade octane, or 250 horsepower using super premium. Take your choice. Fuel economy rated at 22 in the city, 30 on the highway, with 25 overall. The 0-60 time for this particular motor is just under 6 seconds. Around 8 seconds for the less powerful motor. Let's look at the cabin. The yellow box has decent room if you take out the owner's manual. Stick it somewhere else. Climate control is about as simple as it gets. A couple knobs, a few buttons. Very easy to operate. Normal mode or sport mode for more aggressive drivers. Infotainment system Operated by this control knob with some shortcut buttons. Volume for the radio over here. Info screen's not the biggest I've ever seen, but more than adequate. How big do you need? Pretty decent resolution on the camera system. Well-designed gauge cluster. One thing I don't like, when you turn off all the little safety nannies, you get all these orange warning lights on the gauge cluster. It's fine to have a light to show you it's turned off, but it does have to be yellow or orange. Those are very serious colors, like the check engine light or a flat tire light. They should be a different color, but they're not, and it seems to be an issue on almost all cars nowadays. Yeah, I know, we got a bunch of dust here. We're in the desert. I cleaned it yesterday. Got a lot of wind, so the interior is dusty. No more emails about how come I'm not cleaning my car. Because we have a plastic cover on here, we do get some reflective glare, but not too bad. You still see the gauges, so that's all that counts. We do have a head-up display. On some models of Mazdas you can disconnect it, and some models you can't, and I've not been able to find a way to disconnect it on the CX-30s. I'm still looking in the owner's book, can't find anything. You can solve the problem by sticking a sock or black rag down the hole down here, which I might have to do. I don't want to look at stuff like this. One of the things that separates the Mazda SUVs from other brands is the fun-to-drive factor. A lot of the parts used on these come from the Mazda sports car line, and it means quick steering, excellent handling, and strong brakes, which means a car that's very fun to drive. Even more so if you get the more potent turbo engine. In driving all these potholes, the ride is still pretty smooth. Oh, here's a very nasty pothole. Didn't really feel anything. Let's do a quick 0 to 60 run. By the way, this is all-wheel drive. Didn't quite get to 60, but moved up pretty good. Standard vehicle comes in two-wheel drive. With all-wheel drive, you get better traction. Might lose a little bit of fuel economy. Not much to worry about. This is a very pleasant vehicle to operate in city traffic. Plenty of passing power. Decent ride, quick steering. No complaints, actually, at all. Chrysler Crossfire, actually one of the better cars they ever made. Actually better than the Mercedes SLK it was based on. But they were too expensive to make and had to quit making them. But it's nice to know my little Mazda is a lot quicker for a lot less money. By the way, I've used both low octane and high octane fuel in these engines with this vehicle and others, and with premium, yeah, it's definitely quicker, no doubt about that. But as far as fuel economy goes, I've never really noticed that much difference. We do have premium in it now, and we're going to take this out on the highway tonight and do a fuel economy test. So don't go away. We're going to take a highway trip, see what type of fuel economy we get off this rig. So let's do it. By the way, this is a very smooth highway cruiser, but we have very smooth pavement because it's a brand new freeway. They just built it, so no road imperfections. That certainly helps, but the wind noise is reasonably low for an SUV. Very quiet. 24.5 mpg, had the cruise control on the whole time. A bit less than what I was expecting. It is what it is. Fuel economy test we did the other night didn't turn out too well, so let's do another one. I'll keep the cruise control on, try not to pass anybody. Maybe we'll get a higher number. I'm running around 89 octane on this particular trip. 28.5 mpg, did a little bit better this time. Must have had a good downwind. So what do I think about this CX-30 after weekend driving? Can't complain about the performance, at least with the more potent turbo engine. Although the price tag can get kind of high if you load up all the options. You If you want to see our headlight test and night drive, well, you should, because these are some fantastic lights, some of the best we've ever used. You can see how by clicking on the link and watching the video.